Okay, so Senchap Serkong Rinpoche was born in Spiti Valley, India. When he was about 3 years old, he was recognized by His Holiness the Dalai Lama as the incarnation of Khyaltsen Trengpa Senchap Serkong Tugtse Rinpoche, who was one of the 7 master debated partners of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Rinpoche has studied Buddhism in Ganden Changtse, its monastery in South India, and completed his education at the Institute of Buddhist Dialectic in Dharamsala. Rinpoche visited and taught in Israel in 2018, and we are very happy that Rinpoche accepted our request to teach us again today and on the next 2 Saturdays. If any of the audience, if you have a question regarding Rinpoche's teaching today, please send it via email to your respective language coordinator. Till this evening, today's evening, you may find the coordinator's email addresses in the event page at the website of Dharma Friends of Israel and Institute Olam Hatzon Kappa, respectively. Your question will be translated into English and sent to Rinpoche. Rinpoche will select questions to be answered and will answer these questions during a question and answer session on the following Saturday. But as the organizers, Dharma Friends of Israel is a group of friends who study and practice Dharma and meditation in the spirit of Tibetan Buddhism. We believe that studying and practicing the Dharma principles improve our quality of life and contribute to the environment we live in. Dharma Friends of Israel is a non-profit organization that runs all its activities by volunteers. All activities are offered without a price tag, and our existence depends solely on participants' donations. What is left after covering the expenses is donated to our teachers, as well as will be in this event. We encourage you all to practice generosity and visit the event page in our website for details about how to donate to this event. We also would like to thank the interpreters, Simon Hilton and Fabrizio Balotti, for their kindness. Above all, our deepest gratitude to you, Senchap Serkong Rinpoche, for accepting Dharma Friends of Israel request and kindly offer this precious teaching. Thank you very much, Rinpoche.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We now shall start the teaching with mandala offering and the prayer of taking refuge and generation of bodhicitta.
Ashipuki Junshimeto Kamri Rabli Adi Sangye Lama Dampa Kenam Gichukala Kiente Judinchi Jita Sabye Atu Soidam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamiyatayami. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. that accumulations that gather through listening to the teachings may become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I'll go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Supreme Assembly. But the accumulations that gather through listening to the teachings may become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I'll go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Supreme Assembly. But the accumulations that gather through listening to the teachings may become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings.
Okay. So is it okay now I say?
Yes, Rinpoche, thank you.
Okay.
We are all listening.
Okay. Okay, thank you. The floor is mine then. Oh, okay, yeah. So in English, you already did the Sangye Chosoma. Now I will do in a Tibetan. Sangye Chodon Soje Shonam Na Shanjo Bado Dane Gyapso Jen Daje Jenso Gebe Sonam Jen Rona Benjen Sangye Sangye Chodon Soje Shonam Shanjo Bado Dane Gyapso Jen Daje Jenso Gebe Sonam Jen Rona Benjen Sangye Sho Sangye Chodon Soje Shonam Shanjo Bado Dane Gyap Daje Jenso Gebe Sonam Jen Rona Benjen Sangye Sho. So today very special day. The first day. So we will do one introduction this and then but Ndrola Vinci do Jerusalem, Andro Joba Junior Nayana, Dinjon Damjan and Mavi Nemo Bizet in Jerusalem gave and gave a notion to Umes Genzel also when the two occasion to be abandoned so one day about Tinjon to Tayo Mingyam Dodges Sameni. Says the Drobojogi Sergeba San. You shall also want them be seven. 다규 도경람 저거 소데 benza boy can she was also want the taje umeta shila son gundu ju shindo de ne kanjon to den to me se the ba pemen ro shana so wan chambe je son de jen de ne gun de bora bege je jan nam de shin je be dong shi nam re shin de se jen ze to me shana so wan de chungen de den ni dong su son ne che don nam ju de sen za ba gunjin ni bo che be ke bo jo de be yi ni sha lo so wan Tubi shunlong do riba ye tenjiri teme goja lege che na namje lome jinzen tsema ba choge langbe sha lo so wande chinang tseme ni gun le kong shen do semen so wa ye langbe rige lama ne nyederi min jung chuzu domang ge be cheje tabe sha lo so wande tome guje le won chi jun de yue me ta zhe umi su shen do genji shungden na ye zhe me ba pobo chede sha lo so wan Yumdenjela diwe rungdendo miwang gombe menga jishendo yumsoma shijin shungsho sanza ba dobe singi sangbur so wande dowa bongden goden le yendene tamji yeme nushin sozo dara ma noa lengdo tengyu shojo ba yendewe di shando so wande lobson yendene benzo da wang Duden jime rindo bebe ne jajin shungdun de den sen de cho do shaja weje shando so wande tuzon saje kaso ma lo tiwu sum de lam do do de kanjon tupden bebe tenje So here I repeat two more and praise to the Adisha because now he is the main holder of the Kadam lineage and this Lojong practice especially. So let's do two more praise to him. 조선 사제 가수마도 뭐 기부숨지 람돈 dom제데 강전 톱된베베 텐전시 조어데샤라서 원데 조선 사제 가수마도 뭐 기부숨지 람돈 dom제데 강전 톱된베베 텐전시 조어데샤라서 원데 대달점에 인류 개베베 어절 대세 중에 sonanda 미제 당외 요소다베 나주 민진저 와진제 로시니 준니니 된시베 디시 고와주로 지진이 참여 정비 접송 대바된 달람자오서 와진제로 누군이시 다르바드니베 니존로단 롬nom교데베 초대도베 인지자바제 주면 창성 정보를 신제도 신도 준비 준비 타는도 퇴섬건베 퍼를 침바 도제대베서는 나면 야바달라 니바 진제 제전제와라선 대베데 레도 셰던도 롱던 톱 진진 벨로 신도 채널로 총벌지잖아 저거 되게 군도 퇴섬시도게 자외 뒤달로서 용나베 담배 켜주라도 전문 사전다도 전조제 대된 동아 용도 사람제 등의 통조 남견제와요 구방이 원유도 도전에 남바지 선조의 등제 쇼 okay this is a super fast praise to 17 Alenda Penditas. Thank you. Maybe I will speak a little bit in English because I'm feeling the energy in English today. So thank you so much, the Dhamma Friends of Israel, to giving me this opportunity. I'm humbly very thankful for this. This is a very great opportunity for me to listen from my teachers and then giving me a time to think about and contemplate about the Lojong. And we are some of our we kind of old friends, and I visited Israel a few years ago, and I really enjoyed a lot. And I don't know the teaching or the class or the discussion what I gave in English. I'm quite sure not much beneficial. I can guarantee, but I have seen, for my own benefit, I've seen Israel. And I enjoyed the hummus and pita and all the delicious dishes of Israel. But somehow I felt like I have a mega connection with you all. Because the motivation to come to Israel is not to enjoy the beautiful the scenery and the food in Israel. It's because you invited me, because that I have a title called Rinpoche, and then you people feel like maybe he will give us something that we need. But somehow I try my best with a good kind of a motivation, but due to the limited knowledge, English or the Dharma practices, so there's much not beneficial. But somehow today, a few months ago, you all requested me to give a kind of a talk or a teaching or a class. So then when I asked Iki and some other friends, and then they give me the 7 points of mind training, then automatically I felt like this, I cannot say no, because this is something I need to learn, I need to practice. So it's a really good opportunity. So there must be a little bit of self-cherishing there. But then Lojong is all about how to reduce self-cherishing. So it fits right into me, into my practice. So then I accepted, but as most of my friends know that I am not good with timing and response. So most of my friends in Israel who really wanted a quick answer, they never got. So somehow I have taught them how to be patient. So here I apologize for not giving the answer on the time, and it took us such a long time. So now today it's happening. Today is happening. Yeah. So I thank you. And then here also through Fabrizio, the Lama Tsongkhapa members, some of their participating, and we are also old friends. And thank you for joining. And then we have so many my friends, new friends, old friends, everybody's there. So if I say one by one, there's not much meaning, but you know that I'm very happy to see you all here. Now, now maybe I will let Simon to do his job. Okay. Oh yeah, then about the question and answer today, as a beginning of this course. So I'm thinking let's do it from the next Saturday. So please keep that in your mind, and then we can discuss. Okay. 다 당보다 로종 뭐슈 응을이야 딱히 주주디 단다 제름부치기 람림난도 송번 람림 치만난도 송번 나신 아니 문에 제비나 다 로종기 당마 단다 로종 든디메게 당마 제킹기 차가봐 기시 차가봐 공개 남다 쉬고요. 내 남다들이 믹스 이제 육중마서 아치란 좀 많지 진기죠. 다이는 니나로네야 남다 제마송 세빈의 추지지기니 가산대 와제를 도시 제대 바브야. 차가비기 로종기 쇼거치 가리셈베이나 다 로종 로종게 자와 저직디 셈베이나 가리나 로족숨 타바 아니 로종 돌이야 로종 낭샤 디 남다나 켜도와 로족숨 타바 로종 낭샤 세스도 다딩아란 주 디리샤 그래서 우리 디인지미지 아주 리서치 오유나 로족숨 타바 가르장 쇼브레스 다디데 제너럴과 어디인지미지 아주 삼당고도 어디 사민디 송로나
어디 가르임시 코 로족숨 비가 로족숨
로족숨 그링라 아니 로종 거리야 아니 로족숨 탐바 아니 지금 디나샤 로종낭샤
So before we talk about the mind training, I think also it's what's most important is you know the mind training, the instructions on the mind training and the seven, particularly the seven.
You mute. You're muted.
Sorry.
Okay.
So before we just before we go into the mind training text itself, I think it's important to mention that in for instance in Jay Rinpoche's great stages of the path to enlightenment, the instructions on mind training and the seven mind training are mentioned there, and the author of the 7-point mind training is mentioned is Geshe Chekawa. Now I haven't had opportunities to read extensively about his his biography and his history, and some of you may well know more about this than I do. But what's the kind of root of where the mind training texts are stemming from? What's the the kind of root sort of sources from which the mind training is stemming from? And in the biography, it mentions that Geshe Chekawa studied for sort of kind of continuously on the practices of mind training for 13 years, what it would be interesting to do is to find out exactly what was he doing within those 13 years while Geshe Chekawa was studying the mind training texts.
Di indu ta lojong ki tachi nyamling chegen gi midi kandij ko yo na sta nge chibar de di chran zo ya ngara le chibai di chran zo jiwo ma ba tak lojong gi kwa le jebe ine lojong ge de chig di semna ro ya 편부 쇼지 도와 아니 이나양 아란 저기 semna 편부 도세 마도 지기 디기 아주 마송네 균디 그뒤 두 대토면 와 다딩 아주 최바 망치 간이 다라 봐 셈나로라 람상 대버제 용야 람상 측디기 용한 초 용야디 중 엔디 균균 장투요 말이야 다디를 냠내 못으니 채토야 지단 양세야 다 카산 라말든지 대버지게 청주선도 동반일든지 대버지게 원도 양 주주 가시지네 다가란 대버지에 쓰는 게 두개 말이야 다디 만절에 간이 첨부 쉽지요 인도 잠베 다 로정 제디어 가서 다가랑 초와 용요. 로스마 로정 튼주메 치도도 다다 뭐베 셈 펜부도 쓰다고요. 셈의 펜부디 윤균 장토요. 당ranzo. 다딩한주 는 다가서래 간이 치슈르디 저기도와. 당하더지나. 디인도 다 ranzo 로정리아 타바요르 가바요르 이나야 당한주 로정 냠스 랭킹기 미 차드고요. 때 이나야 루 로정 기름도 스만제 원도 점베 안주 당보 때 변화 로정 튼디메 기 당보 고란들이야. 당보 원도 달라 로 체체. 직 당보 네가 하는 송 원도 라땅 계속만 와. 되는 마음없이 말송해도 와. 텐데 좀 이야 나고 저기샤. 띵아도 삼아 땅 거지. 라란조 원도야 라땅디 이지미디 신 거지.
So one thing that's very important at the beginning is to sort of, when we're encountering the mind training text, is to figure out the way in which we sort of read or and engage with the mind training texts. So at the beginning, first of all, thinking, this is a question both for myself and for all of us as well, is what kind of practitioner is kind of required? What kind of practice and practitioner is required for engaging in the mind training kind of literature? And when we encounter the mind training text, we feel that when we read the words, there's an immediate sense that the words have a kind of benefit to our minds. There's that kind of sense, but the biggest problem that I see is that it's easy. It's in terms of encountering the Dharma in general, that it's quite easy to become inspired. Say we have an encounter with the gurus or with the Dharma teachings, and it's quite easy for faith and a kind of delight, enjoy in the teachings or the presence of the guru. But that is very hard for us to then bring that into our continuum and hold it in our continuum. And so, maybe for a few hours we're kind of strongly inspired and have faith, but it's very hard for us to maintain and hold that within ourselves.
Perché non stanno gestendo I canali della lingua.
So in terms of the 7-point mind training, again, when we read the words of the 7-point mind training, we has that feeling that immediately they feel like they're a great benefit to us. But let's say taking the very first line of the 7-point mind training by Geshe Chekawa, which says first train in the preliminaries, but then it's sort of like, well, it doesn't really give us so much of a sort of way into exactly what is the exact way that we train in that. For instance, there's that statement is there, but then there's not a lot of detail about how to train in that. So so having faith in the mind training practices, but but needing to we need to find ways. This is a very important point, that we need to find ways in which to engage, how the practitioner engages in the stages of mind training practice is very important to think about.
제가 당하는 세미나로 디이미지 가서래 대바지기 감유지 중 이나양 무튜니 아니 대바마요에 대바게 마토야 아니 지금 미다바를 좀 공부 이나양 디기 미다발이야 아니 지금 떠나 미다바 공부를 떠나게야 세미나로에 뽑아게야 라소비 드주다 미용해야지 먼저 인지미지 개인적으로 관도 스타디 페이지 가서 그래 저기 안주마선에 람톱 사톱을 계속 보고면 도가 띵아란줄 슈대베 지르샤 대인도 잠베다 될이야 계속 슈대 집디마선에 나년디 조지기 아니 람정기 나로야 전주 셈디 팬디 마통베나 대양 계속 좀 쉬어라게 준주 통보 도마송베갑다 평행기 리우스 제제 송은도 준비 평행의 양내 양동조 통한체 개심물샤 알바 다 평행의 통단대야 디두스 핑기여다 니 핑기여다세 계제지 오마인바 빼나 미다부터 베셔럽 되기 땅진런여당 간데스뉴요 안 아주기 라말이야 대바체 세베갑려야 라말레 대바체니 녀몽 가리가리 마음에 차도 어디 님보다는 디싱고도 다 지난해 직직 요래 니니 요래세 대바들 가지고 계셔 이 대바디 대바zam보르샤 페버샤 다 대변안에 대변 초도 교버디 가르쳤나 오늘 디 제베이나 니기 짐바딜는요도 아니 얘기 지금 마테베기 듬쟁이마 디유 다 딜리시비지 누구도 땅운에 전행에 대바체는 지린 조성세기 디 인지 민지 세미나로야 레고도 다디 콩디 제르부치기 담름 치면 나는 축지도 쇼단디 퍼비지오다 대치나주 숨디 기규나니 저 슈고 뒤주 뒤니 담름 좀 슈고 뒤주 뒤니 간래 축지지 시토에 있나 야도 삼선도 텐도 녀리야 디지교 난다.
So in terms of it's very easy for us to generate a faith in a sort of encountering the teachings and the Guru's faith does arise in us quite easily, but it's very difficult for us to maintain a continuity of that. If we meditate, let's say we're meditating on impermanence, and there's a kind of but what we need is a kind of delight to meditate on it, and a kind of confidence or courage to meditate on it, and to be able to maintain a continuity of that. And then we have to think, well, what's the condition that takes us away from just having very sort of temporary arousal of faith or interest in meditation on, say, impermanence? And this is and we're not talking here about developing realizations at the level of the grounds of the Bodhisattva path or anything like this. This is talking about, we have to bring this down to our level and make it relevant to us. And so in Joa Tisha's Lamp for the Path, he talks about how it's very difficult to generate minds like the awakening mind focusing on enlightenment if we don't see the benefits of the awakening mind. And also in Shantadeva's Way of the Bodhisattva, in the first chapter, he talks immediately about what are the benefits of bodhicitta. And so this is how we have to engage, by seeing seeing the qualities or benefits of it, and therefore that will really draw us into it and create a kind of delight and kind of confidence or courage in engaging with it. In terms of meditating on impermanence, how we have to look at how meditating on, to see the qualities, look at how meditating on impermanence harms the grasping at grasping at permanence. And so how so it's kind of a way of gaining faith in how applying the antidotes releases us from those kind of negative forms of grasping. And we need to sort of kind of understand the reasons and the kind of the qualities behind it in order to help develop that kind of not just a kind of temporary arisal of faith and inspiration, but a continuity that is created by understanding the qualities behind it. How if this kind of antidote will cause harm or subdue this kind of these kind of graspings or misunderstandings, and so what the causes are for that and how that operates. So there's a quote in Lamrim Chenmo in J. Rinpoche's Great Stages of the Path, which I'll now go into now. It's on page 72 for the translators.
Can you hear me? Okay, I'm really sorry. The internet is disconnected. So I'm using through my cell phone now. Let's hope it will last long. And let's wait for Simon. Is he in? I'm having the internet problem from yesterday. So I talked with the guy and said, today there shouldn't be a problem. Then yes, definitely. They're fixing something on the road, so they maybe cut down the wires and fixing it up. So, you know, India. I love India. A little lemon too. It's not the sun. It's not. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you that I have some. My friends normally we have a class, so one Saturday. So we couldn't do the class, so I said it's okay to be with me here. So we are how many? 6. We are 6. So.
Sorry, Rinpoche, I think that Simon is disconnected too, India, you know. So.
He's coming? Okay, he's coming very soon. Is there a translation in Hebrew? Or usually people don't need a translation.
This time we have translation to English and to Italian. There's no
okay. You don't need. That's okay. Yeah. I can see one new friend here. Karma Tsunju.
Rinpoche la.
다시 들래.
Rinpoche la. 고감상.
대부이. 이끼세로 지난 이끼를 왜 간래?
Yaki.
No. Yaki. We never met face to face, right?
I think that we met maybe last year for a couple of minutes at Bulgaria, a couple of years ago.
Oh, okay.
But I'm pretty non-descriptive, so yeah, nothing remarkable.
I saw you with the Rinpoche when he visited Israel. So you were translating for him, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. So good to see you here.
Yeah, back.
Okay, 10 minutes back.
Yeah, you. Did they hear any of the translation? Iki, did they hear any of the translation from before, or did it die?
We heard you until you were supposed to start quote Lama Tsongkhapa version from page 37 or 73 or something.
73, yeah, that's for the
73, yes, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's it. That was it. Okay, good. Okay, yeah, that's good.
Rinpoche, can you unmute yourself?
Oh, now, yeah, got it. Okay. That in all of the should do binalogi in Shiva de the Sida, Germany labs in this Junsha. Tadar sa Chidan Dikoduta, Chigi Lamegi, Kenda Yunde, any Paya Cheche, any Zo Yundelia Deche, and Tabajang Danchi, Sodwa, Kun Lepa, Kunjang Yundendia, Yundelia, near Tanya Chola, Bezuchevres. Tadar, Lo Shuk Tala, During you could be Nuba Re Godes. Chetanga. Sum lo shutabo gyringbo ani yi kunibas 당에 단지 란주 안주리야 가리고도 가리민두세 어디다 되나 저는 정도가 lo shutabo 직체 gyring보지 yi kun 네버 제 거데 때문에 대다게 도초 먹고 소리 다 들어와 꼭 다다 니모도사디 다다 되게메도 먹고서 고 메뉴비 치당 또 대답을 깨바니 양도 소소도비 째네서 고뭐 코너를 라를 치로 세지 다딩 안줄이야 들으셔 가서 저런 부치기 또 투자와 준비권에 답에 냠용 쉐어 넘버 주지 어다 들으셔 조디 가르도스나 딘디기 디단 개치주디 lo shu chakbodan, lo gyun rinpodan, yi kubuji yongya la, ane nyabarado, soso tobe shirab cheba digi ma to ji yong ya yo man sta che jang ka yang ne yang do cheba che ani gyumjang samlo da ribe gu tu cha che jang ga 야 디거도 다 아주 체메리 버디 개정부 지고에 되니 잘 봐. 제장가 딘디지 용도 잠베 제르무치 빼들시가 고 다가랑 빼들라. 빼나사 딘페님부도 디 딩아 미다발 땅 삼당들에 담에 삼당들에 전주구 삼삼 디춘 자롱도 운에섬 해모도 제장가 딘데도 빼나 초유라 두베 체만 도 따바 망나 되차 잡고 기도 하시 지 달라 이도 미원 체만망도 삼나 시당 잡고 기도 하시 테나 람테다 공바니 유기 넘버 미세반다 로이진다 슈타라 균정와 공베 제금 차오 세타도 랍제티시 배전 또 지난주 단다 거여지 지난주 송주 사오라 기계주 기계주 단다 거디어래 아니 송셔나
did you do ni Rinpoche? Did you do ni? Did you do ni song?
Did you do ni gi yingdin wani tibi yingdin shiba?
Oh,
Taitar. Okay.
And so in the Lamrim Chemo, it talks about how we have to work hard at understanding in order to clear away faults or faulty ways of thinking. We have to understand the qualities which encourage us to do that, and how to sort of integrate this long term with the mind, and so into our minds. So it sort of requires us that we have relying on the antidotes, the antidotal minds towards the faulty ways of thinking. But it's what there are three things that it encourages us. It encourages us to really understand the. Sorry, I have to do it straight off the text. So we have to. It needs a strong quality of mind, which is kind of engaged with over a long period of time. And so oh he hasn't unmuted.
He's muted.
Oh yeah. That is one. Okay. 제가 이 쿨바 세디 말한주 다 저기 세미나로야 초슈치부 제한 정도가 참참 이 쿨부지.
So yeah, we need a very kind of forceful form of mind. That forceful form of mind has to be kind of it has to have a kind of long continuum about it, and there has to be a kind of strong feeling, something a little bit like an inspiration, a strong feeling in order to engage with that. So those, in order to counteract the negative minds with the antidote, and to overcome them, and in cultivating these opposite minds, we need these three factors. What J. Rinpoche also, so J. Rinpoche in this passage is sharing. Out of great compassion, he's sharing with us his personal experience of how to overcome the kind of negative sort of ways of negative thoughts. And so he also says that with this, in order to give rise to this kind of mind, what we have to do is again and again engage in analysis using supportive reasons and ways of thinking, and that has to be and in order to develop this forceful, continuous kind of mind with strong feeling towards engaging, this has to be underpinned by continual analysis, and so that's why we say that when we talk about the common, valid cognition, pramana, this is always described as, this is very important in order to help us do this. Whether it doesn't matter whether we're meditating on bodhicitta or impermanence or emptiness, whatever it is that we're providing the antidote to, this supporting kind of these three factors are very important. And Je Rinpoche gives us gives us some nice examples within the text here in order to help us to understand that. For instance, that if we when we have the kind of appearance that when we meet an enemy and we have that kind of very unpleasant or averse kind of appearance from our own side, then it's so the kind of strong mind of aversion or anger arises within us. And also if there's something which is an object or a place which is very attractive and dear to us, and then we kind of superimpose and we kind of overimpose a further a kind of attractive nature to it, and in that way it's very easy for it's very easy for attachment to arise. So in the same way, we need to have this underpinning of kind of continual meditation and analytical meditation to help us to counteract the negative ways of thinking.
인류점에 저장가 아주 무슨 information collect 해야 돼. 아주 남셔 윤도 그 이게 지딩기 자발에 있는 고구로 봐. information 내야 돼. 미디 모션 발라 information 내는 고구로 봐. 니수 나디나 신지게 차고 타러 다녀야 돼. 주미 이지기 남도. 주미 이지 그게 남도 대양 그 금신 로보 망보지기 아니 사발 때니 아니 제르무지 송고도와 아니 차바이는 차바처럼 도도스 아니 콘로이네 배나 콘로다 약셔들이 배약셔들이 엠베나 지단이 미지를 두스 콘로 사데브까블라 아니 미지 용치 거기 아니 테란 트렌 렌직 마르다스 아니 배 롱에마에 된데 그런데 도스라고도 그때 제베르 그런 빈자를 내든데 제베르스도 시스템나로 따랑 신기 답에 큐니베 콘로델리 because 다델이야 믹스이 더 콘로 타르도도 와 디 제르무치기 베르바 다데 텐을 추천용체 마란주기 페나 라말리아 아니 지게 타바슈 타보게 좋아 균rum부네 투야 타바디 아니 이쿨도에 저 상말로 균쟁이 제로 만들어봐라 다 지기 아니 라마지기 오다 동이 곰쇼스에 선도지 동이 곰 안 저런다 로카시 참 되셨으나 아니 지게 하단 라면 내줘는데 제대로이나 야보다 쉬우지를 손남사기 유기를 이내야 네버튼 거 말이었어. 네버 맞는데 좀 생각하잖아. 네버튼야라 네버튼서야 돼 가라. 로슈 타버다. 뉴링버다. 이 클리에게 네버디 가를 때는 거였어. 그 유찌기 되버렸어. 유 가리 되버렸으려나? 제베 제공들이 손도 왔다. 제공들이스. 원하다 더버들이 연구하래. 미 참말로 제공 제고를 가시에 가리시다 때 맞으면 연구도 와. 아니 아주 빨리 가신 작업을 쓰는데 용식이 이나야 다디 개왕함이 바자다 곰시다 아니 레기 몰람기 투모면 자와세 다디니 차로 바뀌셔야 돼. 다디 소소 거도 맞죠 인자 가와네 가와 소소 아니 슈자고 띵 아주 세워하고 고도
So in ordinary worldly activities that we perform, we need to collect in order to decide and to inform our activities. We need to collect information about what we're going to do, and this is exactly the same here, where we need to collect information about how to counteract the negative emotions or the faulty ways of thinking. And in terms of our, all of the faulty ways of thinking are underpinned by the conception which mistakenly grasp things to exist in a way that they don't. And this kind of conception has been backed up, is then backed up by, we actually bring many reasons to that way of misunderstanding the world. But the reasons that we bring are all faulty, but they support the arisal of emotions such as anger and compassion. And so with these sort of mistaken reasons that supporting them, that their anger arises. For instance, if you meet a person, even if they are, in some way we dislike them or they're our enemy, but if then other people come to you and say, oh, they did this and that, and they said bad things or harmed your relatives, or suddenly our anger is really kind of really grows and gets really strong. And that's because of all these supportive reasons which have come in to kind of influence it and make it stronger. So in terms of guru devotion, we need to, engaging with a guru, we also need to bring the meaning that's mentioned here in the text, and that we need in terms of faith to a guru, we need long-term strong sense of faith, a long-term, and that sort of delight or strong kind of almost like emotional feeling towards it. If the Lama, if we don't have that kind of thing, and a Lama just says to us, oh, you need to do such and such a practice, or you should go to spend several years doing tantric retreat or this kind of thing, then it's, if we don't have this background of supporting kind of faith, let's say in this case with faith, which is strong, continuous, and that, and if it's not underpinned with reasons, then it's very difficult for us to become kind of very convinced or very decisive about the advice that is given. There's one cause that really helps us to achieve that kind of decisiveness or confirmation of what the Lama is saying in this situation, and it's mentioned here in the text where Rinpoche talks about strong analytical, continuous analytical meditation. So we might ask, why is it that there are certain people who don't seem to need to, who make progress on the path but don't seem to need to engage in all of this analytical meditation? But that's there are people with certain kind of supporting background karma and particular connections, and in that way it's possible that certain people don't need to directly in this life rely on that, but that's down to a kind of personal karmic circumstances, and we need to always be looking at what it is best, what is at our level, and what it's best for us, and how it's best for us to be engaging. That's the most important thing.
It looks like I'm doing kind of a what was that? Advertising Lama Tsongkhapa using the name of the Lojong Tindima. So this morning when I was going through this particularly Lamrim Chimo, that what I can share, automatically when I open this page, the page number, I think which one, 72, just popped up like in front of me. So then I felt, oh, this is something for the Dhamma friends of Israel and the people who I'm going to talk with. So that's why I shared. Okay, now going to the 7 points of my training. I wanted to let you know why I choose particularly the Geshe Tome Sangpo's the commentary of the 7 points of my training. Now, there are so many I highlighted. So when we go through this, I will share with you. And Geshe Tome Sangpo, when I hear that there is a commentary on the 7 points of my training, then I felt like this is it. So then I was looking at one master. There's in this book. There's no name which the author is, but it's also the commentary of the Lojong Tindima. Then I looked at it, it's so good. So I didn't know the name and who wrote it, then I just put it aside. So yesterday I found out this great commentary is what's that? Serchibu Chuyi Yanzen. And who is the main student of Chekawa. So there, when some particular the specific lines, I'm going to we are all going to look from this text too. I guess there is a translation of that too, right? Simon, you have any idea?
Of the Sechibu?
Yeah, I think Tudin Jimala has.
I'm not sure. Actually, I don't know. No, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think the Tudin Jimala has translated that. Yeah.
In the collection of mind training.
Yeah. Look at it. So people who are interested, they can look at it. Okay. Now the Tatu Sishwa Tudin Jimala Chatsalos, the Thomas Amos commentary. Tudin Jimala Chatsalos. 다 최저디 개침부 쉬우지를 봐. 안죠. 제상가 최저 제고의 좀전디 아니 다 좀제망고요래 지기 수수용하게 만점이야 손 이네 대망고를 다 되나는 개치슈디 아주 이 투지 정보를 찾제디 어디 sem나로 펜쇼디 디충 대지단 디지벌 봐. 오마주고에게 나올라 반된다와 잡베기 지기 상계다 전주 선바다 저래 아니 지기 차차바다 쳐버져버든 이제 용초요를 때 이나양 아니 인지 정보를야 쳐버져 그랬어. 다디 저 원두자베 셈나로 믹스기 좋아 내야지 가려 연구도 쓰는 투지 정보를야 쳐버져 토베이나 안 좀 아소네스. 안 저기 셀프 컨피던스 즉 비야 메시지 소소 셈 싱되어 지도와 인지 정보세도 알아서 인지도 지기 살도 중국에 그 인지 매도 하람 요만다 심진 간대지 인지 매부 용은 쓰여 버려요 다 술이네 아 데이도 담베티 알아서 사변다 그래 된지기 사변디 이제 송도가 좀 된디기 트란조 말 차 제비이나 전주 셈벌로 차집은 로만도 떠주리스 근데 전주 다른 셈게베 전주 셈벌로 차제베이나 자자 자네 자탐바 말 차제베 두 리뷰도 그랬어 죄송도와 대손 때나 다 마란주기 인지디 마란주 야고 정호신지 딜롱운에더니 젠제치지 젠제스도 다고야고 시작토베이나 릉신기 아니 상계의 전주 선바도 상말로 홍어수직이 쳐버져 먹어 다랑 디토네 지기 상계를 내가 샤이네 다 딜레 차저버디 상계의 전주 선비기 투지 첨부를 차저로야 지다 수수인지도 다고야 시작토비나 상계의 전주 선비기 아니 투지 첨부를야 다고야도 지구 지경직 고아직 일단다 우마주변으로 연구를 아니 공부를 없어 지름지 공부를 없어 나로야 또 평형도 다디 정말 뭐가 같이 아주 이게 단대 재장과 투지 정보를 찾아야 돼 믹스해지려 셔
Rinpoche Chandu Sangila Chagsa Yina, Jantuki Sembla Chagsa, the go to go mare, seen it just Jantu Sembla Chagsa, Sangila Chagsa, Yuver.
Sangila Chagsa, Chapresta, Sanju Chum de Rang Donaldo.
No, so now we're turning to the 7 points of mind training, and in the first, but particularly to the Geshe Tome Sambo's commentary on the 7 points of mind training, and the first line which says, "Homage to the great compassionate one." And so these kind of homages or praises of offering at the beginning come at the beginning of the text, and there are many different reasons why. What they how they're expressed and what they're used for, but here I think the best way in terms of thinking about homage to the great compassionate one and in terms of homage to compassion is from Chandrakirti's Entering the Middle Way, where he talks about paying homage to the Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas, and to compassion. And compassion, and paying homage to compassion. Compassion is this. I think this can develop. So we can develop a special kind of feeling in relation to this, because if we talk about homage in terms of great compassion, then it's something. Compassion is there's not anybody that hasn't had some experience with compassion in their life. So it's not so far away from us. A kind of self-confidence can arise, and if we hear the kind of homage to compassion, there's a kind of self-confidence that can arise in us, in the sense that we have the kind of, in a sense, we have the seed of, we have some form of compassion within inside of ourselves, the kind of seed of compassion, and so that it can feel kind of closer to us. In the sutra, the Buddha says, if you pay homage to the Buddha, it's not necessary that you kind of pay homage to the Bodhisattvas. But if you pay homage to the Bodhisattvas, then it's guaranteed that you will, make prostrations or pay homage to me. And so naturally, if you pay homage to the Bodhisattvas, you will pay homage to the Buddhas. It says in the sutra, but here in Chandrakirti's Madhyama Avatara, we're talking about paying homage to compassion, and we can get a kind of, this is not obviously not the same compassion, but this is a compassion that we can sort of get our hands on. It's something that we can kind of get our hands on. It's kind of something that we can relate to. So in Chandrakirti's Entering the Middle Way, he makes a homage to compassion.
고액이 동에 딱 문진자면 저마도 지기 동에를 다른 만등이 하람이만 그래도 수임비 동에 지금 아버지 현선은 동에 들려 타는 지마롱에 또 제제요. 세상 같다 동에기 탐도 동에래 타는데디 쉬어자시죠. 띵아주기다 저게 조금도 영화 거랑 상매도 있다나 심지 튼두 춘질이네. 다디 행결도 봐. 세상에 뒤에 자신물이셔. 동해를 타는데 시행은 저 통만 매번 탄다 봐도 머리비기 상황에 동해기 답배지 상황을 로버레데 당동이네 하는 줄이야. 아니 저게 심기랑 신의 정말 쉬워 말에 해야 되나시. 말한 줄이야. 동해기 가수 지기 징셔요네야. 당동이야 동해를 탄듯이 정말로. 대인도 잠배 동해를 탐도 닝지 전부 자 전부 인세대 자 개체슈디 동해를 탐도 들으셔 동해를 탐도 세 들으셨다.
So why do we talk about the kind of greatness or the great quality of compassion? What's the main reason that we talk about the great qualities of compassion? And in terms of it's because it's the mind which wishes to either be free or to free from suffering, to be free from. So there are many, in this context, of course, there are many ways, many sort of aspects of suffering, many different kinds of suffering, but so in certain levels of suffering, everybody understands that wish to be free. To be free from particular forms of suffering, and or to free from different forms of suffering. And so there, even the smallest insects upwards have a kind of innate desire to wish to not suffer from to not suffer, to be to kind of be free from suffering. And under the power of suffering, how do we? So if we can. One of the important things is to understand that if we can understand that the kind of mental afflictions and the stains never actually kind of enter the never stain the actual nature of the mind, then we can also understand that whatever amount of suffering comes from that, it is possible. There is a possibility of eventually being free from the suffering caused by those stains. And so we talk about compassion as being kind of in kind of the greatness or the supreme value of compassion, because it's a mind which wishes to liberate or be free from suffering. That's why we talk about it as in its kind of greatness of compassion.
Yala so ta tene ta chuju nibadi lamal resha ta lamal ya chuba jodang de kan de jodang sonsna lawson namda changju tu ni jong de she temba chuju genze jin tenjin namji zugi gendu be chungme lame shalo so de che so ta laba sumde laba chujung laba tingni jin laba shirag laba che laba teta number tawa se de zo de kowa de 제장가 디 야고도와 라바 추중비 라바 시르 라바 띵인 생기 라바도 저 마음 현래야 리셰자가 정말 소소랑디 냠용 요딩이지 인도 전에 넘버 타 봐세 관련단 직도스는 되도와 생활한 저기 들은 거 상황부지 마 칸이 쉬고 주나 당하더지 쉬고 주나 담에 쉬고 봤다 이 단다바도 망부 인부미션 망부 코디어 봐 니지 이나야 냠용 돈이 시투 요르베 용왕 돈이 시투 요르베 다디 주버디 개침으로도 와 제상가 럽손 넘버 타바 전주 투니 중 쓰다 전주 투니 쓰도 배제 군주 전주 sem당 전남 전주 심니 아니 투리야 개버다 아니 대시 때문에 추출 연세바 세도 전에 다 당부도 연den시 니버도 자와디 간지 요르스나 라마디 지게 산지기 때문에 초주를 개버지 예세지 다 초주를 개버지 시도자베 아니 초주를 시도자베 말한저 10 direction 세기 계제다 라과체르마도 이지미지 10 direction을 켜고 요르베 아니 이지미지 디네 파 아주 최대 아니 정부링의 켜게 계제르베 디렘도 계제쇼도 초주를 개세야 되게 düja yöbe inaya lama tinigi 그봐 전 람전아래 다른 데도 제장가 düja le yöbe ina 초주 과를 쇼 그런 게 düja yöbe ina 다른 라마디 문에더니 투 그런 라왕이 샤완제 닝지기 샤완제인지 안도 시지 패원도 전에 되게 과다래야 대시된 뭐 추주를 견세지 세티 고고 요소래 현야 초주다 참다 그 정부링의 파기에드니 세대 전에 안디 아주 라마님 중들이미나 근데 대화를 무시해서도 천년다 다 초주를 해야 되거든. 다야 라마님 중들이 요리 안지 초주를 게마토니데 대한디 초주 간데 게버세. 디 초주세 디 초주가를 게 기절해도 디 초주를 게세 게 düja 초 관리여베네 대려야 아니 강라 강등 그거 폐지 대려야 신경제야지. 대양 아니 가서 그래 네 도고 연나 맨나 삼에 많이 봐. 오늘 상제에서 뒤로가 달라마 상제 레스고 좀 센데 그디고 요로 당알 디지 달래 라마 딘디냐 거의 가르에서 좀 샴바면도 레다 몰람 공부 톱샤되지 세브레샤 스라도 좀be 달래다 몰람 공부 토단도 삼로 땅인데 다 람상 조상군이 초제다 니 디신이 매체다 스리 귤라메기 아니 상제기 연된디 아니 샘전을 탑을 받아 심지어 이나야 상기기 진로 중요히 것도 세브시 송도와 어쨌든 어디 지 공부셔비나 지금 라마딘 달렌 라마딘 리지제버디 라마 탐면면 넘버를 제버를 돼 제단되면 다 제도 제샤 삼성 지글에서 봐 제단 딘진 남기 쪽이된 교배 총매 라메샤가 소 라만 다데나 뭐지에 담망고예베나 다 띵문에 전에 자침부지르샤 스데 되게 라마샤가 차체로 도스 과진에는 지금으로
And so we come to the second verse of the Gyatso Sambo's commentary on the 7.9 training, and it says, the second verse is, pure in the three trainings, with the mastery of twofold bodhicitta, you spread the Sagata's teachings throughout the 10 directions. As the crowning ornament among all holders of the teachings, incomparable Guru, at your feet I prostrate myself in homage. And so the first line pure in the three trainings, this sentence here. So the three trainings, the three higher trainings of concentration, concentration and wisdom, and sorry, I forgot the concentration, wisdom, and ethical discipline. And it uses the word pure here. So, you know, in that, I think here, pure, the meaning of pure could mean not just someone who's able to just talk very easily about the teachings and give a large amount of information, but actually pure in the three trainings is someone who's has a personal experience of integrating the three trainings into that. I think that's what it means here. At the end, it says the mastery of twofold bodhicitta. This I think is, you know, the two of conventional and ultimate, the understanding of the two of conventional and ultimate bodhicitta. In the second line, it says, you spread the Sugata's teachings throughout the 10 directions. And so it talks here about spreading throughout the 10 directions. And I think that this is not really possible to think about this in terms of, you know, just this ordinary world where we talk about, you know, spread across the entire globe in all the 10 directions. It doesn't make very much sense, because how, you know, even we can see that the Buddhist teachings are not spread completely all over the world as such. And so I think here, really what this means is wherever there are students, and this is mentioned, something akin to this is mentioned in Atisha's Lamp of the Path, wherever there are students, under the power of compassion, there the guru can abide. So there the guru can proceed to, under the power of compassion, to help the students. And this is, you know, even great lamas, you know, we could say, like with the great name, like such as his holiness, you know, in some sense not spread across the entire 10 directions. So what hope for those who have maybe a smaller name, and so it's you know, for it, and so it's for the students, wherever there are students, for the welfare of those students. The guru, in this case the incomparable guru, can be there to abide for the students, and there's no sense in which they, and certainly in terms of the Buddha, that they need to think, oh, I need to go there, I need to proceed there, I need to go there to do this or do that. Due to very strong prayers and accumulation of huge quantities of positive karma, the Lama is able to, the Guru is able to do this in a kind of almost, or certainly the Buddhas are able to do this in a spontaneous way. And this reminds me of verses from the Sublime Continuum of Tara Tantra, Maitreya's Tara Tantra, where it's Sosanguni Truchidan. So where it talks about the perfect body of the Buddha is able to emanate out to, because it's Sosanguni Truchidan, Dejini Yemichidan. So the what it talks about is the activities of the Buddha are able to go out to all sentient beings, and this is a line taken from the Uttara Tantra, where they're able, the word is like the activities of the Buddha are able to engage with all sentient beings. So it's something along these lines, wherever there are students, that is able to happen. And then the last two lines read, as the crowning ornament among all holders of the teachings, incomparable Guru, at your feet I prostrate myself in homage. So and so this is the homage of prostrating ourselves to, even if we take the Guru in a common form, that we prostrate ourselves to this kind of Guru with these qualities. That's the first verse.
Talenti nga zui chendes ke mixe ke mare ta zo ji lo jong bi zo nyam nen chetang kan de ji sha se na zo choling che sun rob ji da ni de ma ta tam she che sun rob ji re de ni zo be ta ji ge gyube lama ta ngue ge lama de zo mixe shu go men du de ta ina ke chi ju di de wo mi chi gun du ne cha ma go shu yo zo shu yo re ani ni ja ran zhong la mi chi gun du ne ni都是这龙的纳罗起这些中了不起的呀年上学习都是龙都是这学位这整个两个人就爬出초ling切的道理啊 소소소기 양디 로좀 튼디만 말 주제라마든 주요네 데 단다 믹스해기 야 저기 다 저기 조지다 차가받는 데저는 오예 미베 다 라말이야 검제냐 소소 냠도 단다데 계속 통면상 차체로 송배가랑 알아줘 차체기 매버체도나 야보도 와 그것도 없지 다데네 두숨 야와 세지 되지람 펜데멀리 준비 진신 때르스 다디 조단다 로종 튼디마들이 로종 튼디마데 간데지레스라나 두숨 야와 세제디 단다 차가와 지구기 되기 토모모인 바인바다 조지기 토모모인 지구인 비겠죠 너가 이게 도선 가르레도서는 두숨기다 너는 싫어닝고 나로야 남지 두숨도 슈베 아니 상제 탐지기 싫어지 바로도 침바 될 때는 상제버레스 소만나 현재 로종티야 저기 로종게 셀더버디 퇴단데다 조지네 송데 종버레데 이나야 로종기 닝부디 가르레스나 두숨자와스지 탐지기 아니 냠낸 제바단 제신바단 제버지와 도스지 차요레스 제장가 저버지발 퇴직 남세디 인지미지 상당국도 제장가 저기 세 버지고 angara ngelam shukjap chöje lamla yan jawa me jorse 제장가 단디 로종디 인지미지 최식 람이야 공부시고 도와 제장 민지 람 세팅 알아서 자 차제야 손으로보다 아니 지금 초사 직장 제야로 쏘봤다 들어 상 민지 람 딱 짐바 땅와도 출미 송만다 들어 상 민지 람 대 최식 람 세디 코알 응어서 주에게 다 람데라야 최식 람 세도 와 다디 냐지 밤에도 싫어 마도지기 샤투에요 말 더르는 군수 전주 셈대양 민지가 남제마도 지기 최지가 남차고요 말 대인도 좀 알아는 좀 망부 지 슈잡사데 거할 때고 있으나 다 민지가 남 슈잡되시면 또 최지가 남시라 슈잡만 잡 못해서 그러지 내가랑 전화하는데 용도 당 알아 지고 있는 미신 대인도 좀 때 아주 맞으니 로디 가서래 제서 통면상 보기 저장가 로종이야 생각을 다송 시도 최직 최버지비람 소송송아 어디 거버시 되네 팬데멀리 준비 렌진들 시도 당원에 전에 자주 생각고려야 인도점에 아니 알아서 저기 다 심진 탐지를 팬톱이 람지 가려래 쓰나나 다 전주 심게 토네 아니 레지 마삼바 파르돌라 아니 저거 저기 가서 그래 팬데멀리 준비 렌진들 차야 그래요 대인도점에 전주 생기선비고네 저버지고 람디 아니 팬데멀리 준비 렌진이 때르디레스 다디 아니 예 드린도 시작해야지 지금 아시 주비신규에서 제제 또 슬라바메 아니 지금 로마 대바젠다 아니 지금 양 라마도 저기 송도 줄 땐지 니에 도스마 송구스래
I won't go through all of the commentary during our time together. I'll take out selected pieces and explain them to you. But the main focus of our teachings is the 7-point mind training, and I've received the 7-point mind training many times from His Holiness. But I also specifically requested Gonlarata Rinpoche to pass on the transmission of the 7-point mind training to me, so that you can. So you know where I received the teaching, and also if we imagine the sort of the gurus or the masters of this tradition, this system of methods of the mind point training system, and Joa Tisha and all of the masters of the mind training system, and imagine them of one nature. And imagine one nature, and sort of with. Gelsa Tomi Sambo and imagine that sort of lineage, and then we can imagine that as we sort of are paying homage. So you can imagine that. So the second verse is about, it talks about the Buddhas of the three, so the single path traversed by the Buddhas of the three times and their heirs. So here in this first line, it talks about the Buddhas of the three times, but it also talks about the single path traversed by the Buddhas. Now, in this Heart Sutra, it mentions how out of the kind of the meditational experience on Prajna Paramita, the Buddhas expound the teachings. And in the mind training, so in the mind training text, there's also the mind training texts have come through to us from a teacher, and the practices of the essence of the practice of mind training is that what we talk about here in the first line, the single path traversed by the Buddhas, this is very important. So we talk about that, the path of the Buddhas of the three times in the Heart Sutra based on the practice of Prajna Paramita. But here also the single path, we talk about the single path here, and this, out of the two kinds of path that we usually talk about, the path, the liberating path and the ripening path, then I think here it has to be understood as the path of the liberating path. The ripening path involves things such as, accumulating merit, purifying obscurations, the practices of the paramitas, such as giving, and often we think, we think of the path as these kind of things, but actually the liberating, the path which kind of directly helps to liberate us is the meditation, the wisdom on the selflessness of phenomena, selflessness of all phenomena, and that's what is really the liberating path. Even bodhicitta is considered, part of the ripening path side of practice. But we tend to think more. We tend to make more effort and think more on in terms of the ripening path. And so we need. So this, I'm saying this. I'm not sure for others, of course, but for me, that's how I tend to think. So it's good to remember that the ripening path is the thing that directly leads us to liberation. And in the second line of this verse, it says, "A precious treasury that is the source of all benefit and joy." Also to say actually that so the precious treasury, the source of benefit and all joy, means we also have to. We're talking about source of all benefit and joy for all sentient beings. So it's the source of benefit and joy for all sentient beings, and the only liberating path that allows us to achieve which is the source of benefit and joy for all sentient beings, is the liberating path, which is held within the influence of the mind, the awakening mind. And so that liberating path held within the awakening mind, which is the precious treasury, this is the source of all benefit and joy. And then it says, "I shall here set forth in response to the repeated requests of fortunate disciples and in reliance upon the Guru's speech." That's how Gyaltse Tomme-sama makes his homage. I don't know about all of these things very well personally, but I feel that this is how I want to explain these verses.
There's only 5 minutes, so should we stop here or where's the boss? Who's the boss?
You're the boss. So.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, then I will be the boss. So we have only. I'll just speak a little bit there. Okay. Number yes. Lana ba yang da bo zo ba chu tobar de be kansa nam ye chanju gu sem ke ne kunzu dan tyan da be chanju gu sem gombala bebar cha go de che ta di yawoji signala lapcha dinga zub yung yore ina ya dina lus yore lana me ba yang tabun zobe chanju tobaran debe kansa namgi kar gomborsana chanju sem kene sore de chanju sem di kene kune kunzu da tönda be chanju gi semla beber cheko de tadi ko yawoji manena chanju sem kebe shula ya kunzu chanju sem da 야 된다 청주 심지게 우리 생이 손로지요리 다 딜이야 아니 콩들이야 계속 통해서 가르쳐놨잖아 아니 공부로도 아니 뒤치 장난도 와 당이 다네 지된들라면 청주 토드나 뒤자와 청주선 중앙기부터는 초를 인지를 시로와 초도도 인지는 얘들 믿는 이셔라시 송신사 다 디마도 송요 말 딜 대시 익세요 말 다딩한 조야 단대 디 뭔가 그런 조제면 동안 인공 칼라드세 되네 주주 시발라 디 털이야 아주 톨링체 제시나 한 대샤샤고 말বে 딱 차이다니 주주 딱딱 차이다 그런
So I'll just say a little bit more. The text precedes the commentary on the 7 points of mind training, Geshe Thomas Sambo. It says, individuals who seek to attain unsurpassable, complete, and perfect awakening must set their minds upon enlightenment and then exert themselves in the cultivation of relative and ultimate bodhicitta. So this also sounds a little bit, when we say, they're seeking to attain the unsurpassable, complete, and perfect awakening, first of all, they set their minds upon enlightenment, and then they exert themselves in cultivation of both relative and bodhicitta. Sounds a little bit strange in the sense that it's almost like they've given rise to bodhicitta and then they exert themselves in conventional and ultimate bodhicitta. So that sounds a little bit strange to put it that way. And then Nagarjuna, there's the quote from Arya Nagarjuna, which is from Precious Garland, which says, if we ourselves and all the world wish for unsurpassed enlightenment, its basis is bodhicitta, stable as the king of mountains, compassion reaching out in all directions, and wisdom that transcends duality. So I'm not going to explain very much about those words now. You can please read those words and think about them, and then I'm going to try and finish exactly on time. So what we'll do is after lunch, when we come back for the session later on in the afternoon, then we can discuss these words. But I'm just gonna leave it as that for now.
Okay, thank you. See you India time, 4 o'clock.
Thank you very much, Rinpoche. And then Israel time is going to be 1:30, and Italy time is going to be 12:30. And also just to say to the Israeli audience that we're going to have a question and answer session with Kamatsontu, which is Yaki at 11. So just say it in Hebrew also. בשעה 11 יהיה לנו שיעור שאלות תשובות, מפגש שאלות תשובות עם הנזיר יאקי היקר. Thank you very much, Rinpoche. Thank you very much and enjoy your meal.
Thank you. All the best to Kamachindula.
Good luck, Yakila.
Thank you.